It is the dog days of summer, and your energy bill may be affected. We will tell you after this break how you can lower your bill and talk to some folks who can help you with your energy costs. Marshunda Jones is next on the Spotlight. From the beautiful Alathus building in downtown Russellville, we welcome you into the Spotlight presented by Alathus Realty Live. If you're in the market for buying or selling your home, give us a call today, 479-968-5668, or you can cruise on over to russellvilleliving.com. One of our fine agents is always willing, ready, and able to help you in the home buying or selling process. Give us a call today, 479-968-5668. Our guest today is a customer service manager for Entergy Arkansas. She's here to help us understand how our bill works and how we might be able to lower costs. Her name is Marshunda Jones. She is joining us live in Benton today. Marshunda, thank you so much for carving out a little bit of time and joining us here on the Spotlight.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate you having me today.
Hey, it is so dadgum hot outside, and I know that folks' air conditioners are going to have some trouble keeping up. Let's get some
Yeah.
general education going. What is the biggest impact on a customer's electricity bill?
Well, actually, the heating and cooling units account for roughly half of a customer's energy bill. So if customers can find a way to lower that usage, they'll see their bills lowered.
Okay, so how do we do that? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, well, the best way is for customers to have a professional to come in and make sure that they're having those units serviced every year. Also, inside of the house, make sure that they're replacing those air filters. And here's one that customers don't like all the time, but setting that thermostat to 78 degrees is usually going to help. I know, I know.
You
So
you killing
usually
me,
what I tell
Marshunda.
I know. So usually what I tell customers, because I am a customer as well, so I do understand. So usually I tell customers that if you will, at least in those low peak times, when you're away from the house, when there's not a lot of traffic in the house, if you'll set it to 78 during those times, that will at least help some.
We're talking to Marshunda Jones from Entergy Arkansas. She's helping us with our electric bill, and Lord knows I can always use some help on my electric bill. You talked about filters. I think that there's some conversation to be had there because I am the world's worst about
Yeah.
remembering to replace my filters or even knowing what size I might need. Are there some resources
Mhm.
available for customers to find out exactly what they need and then when to change them?
Yeah, I would probably, what I try to do as just a rule of thumb is maybe pick a day, maybe the 1st, the 15th, the 31st, and just kind of make it a routine. That way you're, routinely doing that. And then we also have some energy, we have our energy resources online. So if you go to www.entergy.com, you can find some of those energy resources there.
As we talk about this, there's a list in my or there's a bullet point in my notes here that says use ceiling fans in the home, but remember, fans cool people, not rooms. Um,
Absolutely.
so is a ceiling fan effective in trying to lower your bill?
It is effective, but just like what your bullet point says, it's best when you are in the room to use those ceiling fans. But if you're wanting to conserve energy when you leave out of the room, you'll want to turn those off because they're really just designed to cool people and not the room. So in order to conserve energy, if you'll just turn those off when not in the room, that would help with that.
We're talking to Marshunda Jones from Entergy Arkansas. She's a customer service manager out of Benton. And I want to get back to what we are talking about as far as trying to conserve as much energy as possible, Marshunda. But I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about COVID-19 response. As we were talking before you and I got on the air here, there's always when people lose power, there's an immediate kind of eye roll sort of reaction of, oh, we lost power, when's it coming back on? And I'm not sure that some of our viewers understand just how much it takes to not only restore power, but now the protocols that have to be followed as well. Can you kind of walk us through that process?
Sure. Even before COVID, Entergy has always been big on safety. We are always talking about safety and how that is our number one priority for our servicemen and our people to leave and then to come back safely. So one of the things that we have done is with like the COVID protocol is like even with ride alongs, whereas it used to be servicemen may ride two to a truck, going out to do a job. Well, they may not be doing that now because of COVID. Just to make sure that we are staying safe. We're trying to practice social distancing. And so some of those things, it does weigh on the time that we respond, just because we have to make sure that we are responding safely. We do want to get the power on as soon as possible, of course, every time, but we also want to make sure that we are keeping the customer safe as well as our servicemen.
I think there are some folks too. I lived for a long time in a rural area, and there was always that running joke of, well, if the power goes out here, they're not going to know for 2 weeks. But that's not accurate at all, is it?
No, it's not. We generally, depending on those circuits, a lot of times we may get an alert as soon as those circuits go out. So a lot of times we're watching those circuits. We have different groups who watch those circuits, and so when they open up, a lot of times we know it. Now there are times when we may lose power and we don't know it, so we do count on customers to call in those outages. And I know sometimes customers will not call in. They'll say, well, I'm sure my neighbor called in, but just call in anyway, just to be safe, because you could be on a circuit and maybe the other people on your street have been restored, but maybe you're not restored because you could actually be on a separate circuit. So I always advise customers, if you have an outage at your location, always call it in every time.
There's also an outage map available. Is that correct?
That is correct. That can also be found on our website, which is www.entergy.com. And it shows those outages. It'll let you know how many we have out, let you know when we have restored those areas. And then sometimes customers can sign up for those alerts as well. And it will also let you know if we have an outage in your area and what time we expect to have it restored.
We're talking to Marshunda Jones. She's a customer service manager for Entergy Arkansas. While we're on the topic of COVID-19, briefly, Marshunda, I do want to ask this question as well. There were so many people who were affected by COVID-19 related shutdowns and that sort of thing. And I know that Entergy actually softened disconnect notices and that sort of thing during that
Mhm.
time period. For those who are still affected, are there alternative payment options for those folks, and how can they access that?
Sure, yes, by going to our website or downloading our app as well. And we do still offer payment arrangements, so customers can call in and request payment arrangements. We have tools like level billing. A lot of customers take advantage of that. So, levelized billing allows customers to pretty much have a level amount of billing. It kind of takes your usage for the last 12 months or so, and then it just kind of averages that out. And that helps a lot of customers who like to budget. So if you are the kind of customer who says, I like to run on a budget, level billing might be good for you. Or you can choose pick a date. If you have a certain time of the month that works best for you to make payment, you can sign up for what we call pick a date, and you get to choose what date it is that you make that payment. And also, I would just like to let customers know that we have us in our app and on our website something called My Advisor. And this is a really cool tool because it allows customers to kind of go in and to look at their daily usage. It will show your usage as of, I believe it's midnight each day. And so that
Hmm.
helps you to kind of see where you are, see where you were yesterday, and that will help you to kind of know how you're doing as far as energy efficiency.
We are talking to Marshunda Jones of Entergy Arkansas. She's a customer service manager who is helping walk us through the process of energy, and then, of course, all of the all of the features on their website as well, and we appreciate that. Hey, coming up a little bit later this week, Keith Stokes, he is the caretaker of Tusk from the University of Arkansas. He will be joining us, as well as Arkansas Country Music Award nominee Kenny Drain. He'll be here next week, so don't miss that. There's a lot more on the spotlight. And then, of course, you can catch us on Carve AM 610 and 93.1 FM in Russellville Friday mornings at 8:30. Please be sure to tune in for that. Marshunda, we touched on this in your last answer, and I wanted to follow up. The new My Advisor part via Entergy.com kind of rolls into, are there other programs with folks with really high
Mhm.
bills? Going back to that COVID conversation, I know that that there were even some people that I knew that maybe were affected and had very high bills. Then there were some who just kind of ignored it for 12 months, and now they're looking at
Mhm.
thousands of
Mhm.
dollars. How do they operate and manage through that?
Yeah, well, we have several programs that exist for homeowners, for renters, for mobile home owners. And one thing that we can do is we can actually come into your home. We can do some energy audits for you. And those energy audits, a lot of times, have resulted in customers getting insulation, free LED bulbs, power strips, getting having them to seal leaks and ductwork, and that is completely at no cost to the customer. And there are also some rebates and incentives that are available for customers who purchase energy efficiency appliances, and that even includes dehumidifiers.
Well, and can we find a list of those appliances on the website?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Outstanding. What are some other tips and tricks that we can be doing right now in our homes? As I'm going to go home and I'm going to set the thermostat at 78. Now, granted, my wife's
Yeah.
going to set it right back down. But what are some other things that we can do? Or are there things that maybe we're not paying attention to?
I think that, the phantom energy is a real thing. So I would just advise customers, when you're not in the room, if you're not using appliances, if you're not using things that, need energy, I would look to unplug those things. Look for things that, I think if you're doing those kinds of things, then you'll see, some energy efficiency as well.
Marshunda, talk about your time personally with Energy. I know that you just recently moved to Benton and you're working from there. Energy as a company, talk about your experience with them.
Absolutely. I love Entergy. I have been working for the company for a total of about 17 years. I started my career with Entergy working in the billing department. So I have a lot of experience in billing. I worked for about 12 years working with
Oh,
customer bills. And then I moved on to the Entergy Business Center, which manages our managed account customers, which are some of our larger industrial and the Walmarts, the Targets, those kind of customers. And so I kind of did account management for those accounts. And now I'm currently working as a customer service manager for the Malvern, Arkadelphia area. And I love it. It is a great company to work for. And we really care about our people. We care about our customers. Our customers are definitely number one. I always say, that your business is my only business. So I just try to take that approach. And every time that I talk to a customer or every time that I meet with someone, I just always want people to feel like that whatever it is that's your business, whether it's small, residential, or large industrial, it all is priority and we all care about our customers.
outstanding. Marshunda, is there anything else that our viewers need to know about lowering energy costs or just doing their part to try to keep everything flowing correctly?
Yeah, I think that if you guys would just kind of follow the tips that we've given today, I think that you will see a great drop in your usage in your bill. Just remember, if you're able to lower usage, you're able to lower your energy bill. So whatever you can do to lower that usage, definitely keeping those units maintenance because having a unit that is not maintenance can really drain a lot of power. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. And even the small things, like I said, with the phantom energy, when you're not using things, they don't have to be plugged up. If you can find ways to unplug things to kind of come off of that energy, I think that you'll see a big difference in your bill.
Okay, Marshunda Jones, thanks so much for being here with us on the Spotlight. We need to have you back on when it starts getting cold.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back.
Thank you so much for being here, Marshunda Jones, Customer Service Manager for Entergy Arkansas. And that is your spotlight for this Wednesday. Thanks so much for joining us here on Alathus Realty Live. Coming up tomorrow, we've got a great interview coming your way with Keith Stokes. He is the caretaker for the University of Arkansas's mascot, Tusk, easy for me to say. Can't wait to visit with him. And then, of course, Kenny Drain coming your way next week as well. For now, my name is Drew Brent. If you're in the market to buy or sell your home, give us a call today, 479 968 5668. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow.